Hey, everybody. Hey, welcome to this episode of Movies America Spoiler Warning, just for you and you and you and you. Yes, I am, as always, your humble host, Van Ebert, here in the Movies America Spoiler Warning Casa. So you can see the palatial digs here at Movies America Spoiler Warning Incorporated. Yes, a Fortune 500 company. Yes. And we are going to be going over Killers of the Flower Moon tonight. Yes, the latest from the esteemed director and avid Marvel Cinematic Universe fan, Martin Scorsese. Yes. And he is coming with the death and the treachery and the murder and all that again here in his latest since 2019's The Irishman, okay? But you know what? Yeah, it's going to be a chance for you to discuss in-depth Killers of the Flower Moon with moi and then others in the live chat. So real quick, let me remind you to get into the live chat. So it's down there, okay? Get in the live chat on Rumble and YouTube. And you can live chat with me and everyone else in the live chat with questions, comments, whatever about Killers of the Flower Moon, Martin Scorsese, movies in general, or whatever else. Or you just want to let me know what you're drinking tonight. Okay, so all right, hey, you know what, let's get right into it. But as always, I want to let you know, or I want to give you something to dance to.
In a world where the number of movies available is great, but many are so bad, you'll learn a new definition of hate. One man sifts and reviews through the movie sludge. One man will be the movie cop, jury, and judge. He goes by many names, but you know him by Movies America.
Yes, Movies America. That is me. That is I. And I want to welcome all my movie maniacs. Yes, and all my fellow freedom-fueled film fanatics. You know who you are. And if you are one of them, raise a glass, raise a bottle, raise whatever you're doing, raise whatever you're bong, whatever, if you're whatever you're doing to make it through the night, the day, whenever you're watching this. Because, you know, you may not be watching this live, okay? Some alien in the year 3182 might be uncovering this from some frozen ruins of what used to be Texas or something like that, and they'd be like, here's a Movies America spoiler warning. I don't know what this is. I'm watching this. They may be watching this. They may not be watching it live. All right. But hey, to you, Zigzag 75 alien friends, they're watching this in 3182. Hello. How you doing? Okay. But hey, if you happen to be watching it live, though, okay, you can live chat. Again, like I said before, in Rumble and YouTube. And if you live chat with me in YouTube, I will put your live chat right here on the screen, provided it's appropriate and decent and whatnot. So absolutely. So we aren't trying to get too raunchy on here, but you know what? We don't exactly keep it clean in here either. So absolutely not. Yep, that's how we roll. All right, and then let's get right into it. Let's get on. You're watching this for Killers of the Flower Moon, all right? Okay, not to hear about space aliens, or whatnot. So, but one of the things that occurred to me here with Killers of the Flower Moon right off the bat was, right after I got done watching it, was this is definitely not the first movie we've seen where Robert De Niro plays like this Weasley character that, at the end of the movie, or towards the end of the movie, tries to kill off, tries to knock off, tries to whack one of the main characters in the movie. And because of course we saw that in Goodfellas, right? When he played Jimmy Conway way back in 1990. He was trying to whack a Karen. Why did you do that, Karen? I needed that, Karen. Okay, he was trying to whack Karen. He's trying to whack Henry Hill, and so he's trying to do that in this movie too, okay? And because you're just basically trying to whack Leonardo DiCaprio. Now, of course, this is after he was trying to whack every Osage Nation Indian in the show, along with some others as well. But yeah, Robert De Niro, just a real sleazebag. And then he's also a sleazebag in this movie as well. So, one thing I want to let you know here, real quick, here is now you may hear my voice sound a little different, and that's just because I got like a rather sore throat. Okay, I'm hurting, everybody. I'm hurting. I'm playing injured tonight, and so my throat's feeling pretty sore. So I may have to wrap up the show a little earlier than usual. I'm gonna keep going as long as my voice will allow me, okay? But enough about that. I'm sure you're just fascinated and riveted, about my sickness level and health and all that. So, but let's get past that right there, okay? And yeah, I mean, this movie can't win. And what do I mean by that? So Martin Scorsese is making this movie to tell the tale of the Osage murders, okay, and where these white people are coming in, to try to get the oil money away from the Osage Indian families, and they were murdering them systematically. They were marrying into these Osage families and then murdering the spouses, and it just murder, just a bunch of sleazy, skeezy stuff going on. And yeah, you do have permission to be offended.
Be offended.
Exactly. Okay. But so it's an important story to tell, an important tale to tell. Now, if you heard my spoiler-free review that it came out with back on Sunday, you heard me kind of questioning the timing of the release of this movie here, in this environment that we're in. Hey, it's cool to hate whitey environment that we live in now. And so I was commenting, and I think that's probably why this movie finally got greenlit, because Martin Scorsese has been trying to make this movie for decades, okay? And now that we live in the age of, get whitey, get him, get her, get him, people are looking for fresh IP where whitey is the villain. And so this movie definitely qualifies there. And so that's the timing of the release that I was talking about here. But I also went on to say that this is a story that should be told, and Martin Scorsese is obviously telling it in movie form. Now, David Gran is the one who wrote the book about this a few years back that this movie is based off of. But getting back to how this movie can win, so we even have some people complaining and whining that a evil white man, made this movie. And I'm like, okay, here's Martin Scorsese. I mean, yeah, he's a douche a lot of the times, but he's trying to make this movie. He's trying to tell the tale. He's trying to tell your tale, Osage Nation, okay, about your ancestors being killed off systematically. And for some of the Osage Nation, they can't do anything better than to bitch about, like, oh man, here we go, a white man's making this movie, okay, and he's not telling it 110% the way that the Osage Indians would want it to be told. Should have been an Osage director. It's like, this happened like in the 1920s, maybe even before then. If an Osage director was going to make it, they would have by now. Okay. Last time I checked, there was a white guy that had to write the book. No Native American authors were like banging down the door to write a book about this. No Native American directors were banging down the door to make this movie. Okay. And so just be happy that your fucking story is being told. Okay. All right. Cause you just can't win. I mean, I don't know what Martin Scorsese's motives are. I'm going to assume the best and assume that, hey, he does not like injustice, like as most of us, are. Most of us do not like injustice. And he wanted to tell this tale, and he knew that it had never been told in movie form before. But again, he just can't win. It just isn't good enough. Okay. All right. So just so I can get a drink here, because like I said, my throat is sore and I'm gonna whine and cry about it all show long. So let me I'm gonna show you this video. Okay, now I know this is the lazy route. I'm gonna play this video, but I think this is a really entertaining video all about Killers of the Flower Moon. I really like some of this guy's perspective on the movie right there. I think you really like that. But primarily I'm playing it just so I can rest my throat here. Okay, so okay. All right, let's check this out.
So this is that movie that ends people coming out and admitting they're 1% Cherokee. It's easily one of the most brutal retellings of a dark part of history that's based on a book of the same name, focusing on the killers who were trying to wipe out the Osage, who at one point were the richest people on Earth. And while I think it's worth going out to the theater to go see it, I'm going to be honest, it's 3 hours and a half, and you're going to feel it if you're not in a recliner.
Well. What took you so long to get here?
So unless you're getting a catheter with your large drink and popcorn, know that it should be out on Apple TV soon. So whatever way you watch it, I just think it's worth watching because it's easily one of the best of the year. So with full spoilers, let me explain.
I said, well, I think the audience is ahead of us. They know it's not a whodunit, it's who didn't do it.
So the movie centers around the Osage people who were pretty much pushed away from their own lands down to this corner in Oklahoma that was meant to be all rocks in order to screw them over. But then they ended up finding oil, making them super rich, meaning that all the people who kicked them out before, they wanted it back. So eventually there would be blood.
When this money started coming, we should have known it came with something else.
The movie then follows this guy named Ernest who arrives in town to get a job, but you notice immediately how dumb he is. Like when he lands, this man joins a fight for no reason, even though he didn't plan on landing a punch. He's returning from a war where they said he was too stupid to even be out on the back.
Yeah, he is pretty much the opposite of Jordan Belfort, the character that he played in The Wolf of Wall Street, or the character he played over in Inception there. But yeah, he's pretty much just a dolt. He's basically a puppet that Robert De Niro pulls his strings in this movie.
Battlefield. And I know that people like Suave DiCaprio and they love when he's being very charming, but I just think he's great when he's playing an idiot.
Money flows freely here now.
I do love that money, sir.
Like, people will tell this man directly what the plan is, and it takes him the whole movie's runtime to figure out what's going on. This man's given a book, but he can't read. The whole 3 hours, he's moping around with this emoji-ass frown like he's impersonating young DeNiro.
Yep, that's, what's his face? Dave Franco from the movie Neighbors. You should definitely check that movie out right there.
And Mom was right. You keep your face like that, it's gonna get stuck.
Son, I got a question. You like women?
That's my weakness.
The main reason he moves into town is because of how rich his Uncle Hale is, and this man has so much power that he makes his relatives call him king. Hale has appointed himself as the sheriff, and even calls himself Reverend without even being one, and everyone in town pretty much looks up to him because they've known him since they were kids, and he's given them so much, and that kind of makes him the sneakiest one out of all of them, because even when the murders start happening, he's the one collecting evidence and putting out the reward.
If anyone knows anything about it, you must come to me.
Because Ernest has a hernia from the war, his uncle decides to put him up.
And you must come to me so that I can plan your murder, since I know that you know something about my plot. That's basically what he was thinking when he said that, as we know from watching the movie.
As a cabbie so that he can pick up a certain woman, and that's where he picks up Lily Gladstone's Mollie, who gives him a crash course on their town.
Why did you come here?
For my uncle. I work with him.
Because he's an idiot, he ends up becoming a robber as a side hustle who's always losing all of his money in gambling, interestingly enough, to a queen of diamonds. So his uncle starts teaching him how to steal money the legal way. Throughout the movie, he's always being called a snake or a coyote, so it's kind of crazy to think that he went from being the Wolf of Wall Street to the Wolf of the Countryside, where he's killing off the flower moons like the opening line of the book says.
So many hungry wolves.
After being a dedicated Lyft driver, she ends up vibing with him and even buys him a hat as she lets him into her house like a vampire, where he slowly starts to suck the life away from her. And it's insane to think that at one point, I'm sure that Lily was charmed by DiCaprio, and it must have been really cool to have a kissing scene with him in a Titanic-like car. And then it turns out this man looks like this. Like, talk about acting. Give this woman the gold now.
Coyote wants money.
I think Lily Gladstone, who does play that character, I think she will win Oscar gold. That's my early 2024 Oscar prediction here in 2023. I know, I'm just that good.
It's real nice.
They eventually get married, where he's looking like Orville Redenbacher, and it has not been this painful seeing a man love his wife since Chance dropped the big day. Because this is where all the trouble begins.
We mix these families together, and that estate money flows the right direction. It'll come to us.
So the evil plan at play is that Uncle Hale, like many people, have been getting the settlers to marry into the Osage family so that they can then kill them and have the rights to all of their oil money. But while he has his little ring going on, there are also other people out there like Bill who are doing the same thing. Bill's married to Mollie's sister Minnie, who ends up getting really sick and eventually dying, meaning that Bill ends up with all the head rights. And there's even a moment earlier when Hale had a one-on-one with his wife and is even speaking in her language, and it's a mix between him pretending to care about her, but really caring about her not dying on his dime because he's losing a piece of the pie to Bill, and that's sick. Even worse is that Bill immediately moves on to the next sister when Minnie passes. Sicker.
My wife likes her nice things, so
Not as much as you do.
The next sister who's targeted is Anna, who
I gotta say, yeah, that Bill Smith character in this movie, he annoyed me just as much as he annoyed Leonardo DiCaprio's that character. So Ernest, I'm gonna start calling him Ernest right there. But yeah, that Bill Smith guy was just wormy, weaselly. I mean, they all kind of are, but he was the kind of creepy, quiet weasel in this. He just rubbed me the wrong way.
carries a gun in her purse, and that's why Hale keeps spreading this idea that that's what's going to get her killed. But it's an interesting performance because Anna spends more time around town than all of the sisters, and she ends up with a different accent than them because she's almost like imitating a classic Hollywood actress, and that's even included in her wardrobe because they start seeing their traditional clothes as something that could cause trouble, so she's traded hers in for a mink scarf.
This blanket is a target on our backs.
On a rewatch, a crazy thing that I noticed was that on the day of her sister Minnie's death, you can see Hale giving her a flask while she's mourning, pretty much encouraging her to drink.
I really wanted the alcoholism to root from the pain of losing her sister. The fact that her family meant everything to her, and losing her best friend, Minnie, it devastated her. And so I asked Scorsese before we even started filming, I want this alcoholism to come from the pain of losing Minnie. So can we have Hale hand her a flask at the funeral? And he loved the idea, and that was the first scene that we shot.
On the day of her murder, we see a big fight happen in Mollie's house where clearly Anna wants Byron, Ernest's brother, who's pretty much Hale's right-hand man. But unlike Ernest, Hale could never get Byron to marry in. That man would rather date a servant than be her man. So after getting slapped by Anna in front of his parents, Byron creepily says he's gonna take her home to Ernest. And of course, this dude just stares out into space. Byron also mentions the death of a man named Charlie who gets shot but isn't found till like way later. And in researching him, it turns out that his wife was the one who put a hit on him alongside the dude she was planning on marrying. And both got off scot-free.
Trying to get rid of me, aren't you, snake?
Anna's eventually found shot by the river where the doctors decide to do an all-out autopsy right in front of everybody. And when you realize that the reason they're doing that is because the doctors were on Hale's payroll and were cutting up her brain in order to find the bullet, you just get a knot in your stomach. Plus, they even mentioned that Anna was pregnant, and Hale's first thought is to ask if they thought he was the baby daddy. Like, how much bootlegging was this man doing?
Yeah, that's one scene that I was like, wow, yes, this is definitely back in the old days where they had the corpse laying there on a bunch of ice, and then the doctors right out there in the woods in front of everybody just start cutting her head open and looking for a bullet. And then later on you find out that they pretty much just cut up her entire body looking for the bullet there just so that police couldn't use the bullet within her to convict anybody using in any kind of investigation. So disgusting.
Time is over. At the funeral home, Ernest argues with the director who's trying to overcharge him for what he calls Osage prices because everyone in town hates that they're filthy rich and don't have to work, which is why they're marrying and killing them so they don't have to work. And even when they're planning the burial, one of the funeral guys mentions how
that was a good line.
Much money Anna left behind and pitches them using it for a town party. The nerve of these people.
I ain't got no nerves. None at all.
That's when Mollie hires a private investigator, which was really risky back then, because a lot of them would like collect evidence and then conceal it, or they would go solve the case and then head out and find that guilty party, and if that guilty party can pay more money, they dip. In this case, Hale gets the brothers to go whack him, but if you zoom in, you notice that it's actually Byron with the weapon, Because again, like the fight in the beginning and in the army, Ernest is just a minion. At this point, Bill also has his own investigation going on for Anna, because he knows that he's next, and he's trying to be the last one to the finish line.
I didn't realize this was a race.
The movie continues to show how bad Ernest is, because if you listen closely, he tells the funeral director to leave the jewelry on Anna's body, because eventually, his henchman Blackie shows up as a gravedigger and snatches it all. On top of that, he's so greedy that he sets up a side deal with Blackie to steal his car so that he can claim the insurance on it, kind of learning from his uncle's ways.
I just love money. I love it as much as I love my wife.
I'm just wondering, are we sure that Leonardo DiCaprio's character's last name isn't Biden? Might be worth checking into. Can never be too sure. He seems to show all the traits, but just a thought.
But of course, Blackie gets caught and arrested. Since Hale was looking to use Blackie for a hit job, he takes his nephew to the super secret room and spanks him so hard he breaks the paddle. But they ended up revealing that Leo was padded, so meth in my ass. Now this was an interesting scene because one, that Taylor Swift movie was playing next door, and I kid you not, she was singing "Look What You Made Me Do" as Hale was spanking Ernest. But it also is a scene where we learned a lot about Hale and how he's a 32nd degree Mason, which is why he's in that Twin Peaks-like room, because nobody has scarier secrets than they do. But it explains a lot about why he's doing what he's doing, because he's seeking out the highest rank of being a 33rd degree Mason, in where you have to be honored fully by your community. So this man buying up dance studios and being in every picture with everything that he's giving the town, it's not really because he cares, it's because he's 1 degree away.
And I hear if you become a 33rd degree Mason, you get 15% off of the Cheesecake Factory with every visit. So that's definitely a great reason to become a 33rd degree Mason.
Away from what he really wants. And that's why even when he meets up with his bootleg buddy Grammer, that guy rubs his awards in his face by saying, yeah, it's better than gold. It's recognition.
Whose land is this?
My land.
The next target Hale has his eyes on is Henry, who was actually married to Mollie before, but now that he's found out that his wife is cheating on him with the town butcher, Henry's going through depression and wants to take his own life. And the only reason Hale doesn't stop him is because this man has a $25,000 insurance policy on Henry. And you see him even signing it earlier after a church scene.
It's $25,000 laying there.
After that, the mother passes with it being heavily implied that she was getting poisoned, and that's something Hale seemed to have gotten from Ernest when he arrived at the beginning, because Ernest mentioned that during the war he saw more people die from sickness than from bullets.
The mother, Lizzie, she's not in good shape. She won't last.
It was also very poetic the way that they showed the owl as a warning of death, and having the ancestors be the ones who the mom walked away with. And I just know that if an indigenous director would have done it, sadly most people wouldn't have bought tickets. After gaslighting Mollie at dinner, she reveals that she's pregnant, and they end up naming the child Anna, the same way that Anna was going to name hers Minnie. But the news pisses off the uncle, who then baits Ernest by telling him,
I don't buy that if an indigenous director would have directed this, no one would have gone. They would have gone as long as you market it the right way. Okay, there's been plenty of movies that make decent bank that because you were marketed the right way, they made money. Okay, just do compelling marketing, do a good job at telling what the story is all about. If you want to make Martin Scorsese or some other big timer, one of your producers or something like that, so you can put their name on the screen, you could definitely do that. I don't buy that. Indigenous director the movie wouldn't have made any money if it was an indigenous director. That woe is me shit. No, I don't buy it.
that Henry was Mollie's ex, which he had no idea about, leading Ernest to hire an assassin named John Ramsey, who doesn't even want to do it until he learns it's an Indian, and then he thinks that's different. He just forgets to set it up as a suicide.
It's so simple. The front is the front, the back is the back. He has to make it look like it.
Hale tries to convince the deli guy who was cheating with Henry's wife to run away in order to make it look like he's guilty, and that's when you really see what the movie does best. It's showing you how the killers get away and set up people. And one of the things I missed the first time around was that he always had an alibi whenever a murder was going to happen. Like, they'd take the time to show you how Hale would go into town to take a picture, or head out to Fort Worth where he would also have witnesses and take a picture, so it wouldn't come back to him. All while this man was looking like the Hamburglar. Ernest and Mollie end up moving to the suburbs where the whole community has put up lights in their front yards in order to keep the murders away. And in the book, this actually
they also did reveal in the movie, if I don't remember, but they revealed they moved out to the suburbs to be closer to the Costco as well. So just you have to see the movie to know that little detail.
This is off the outsiders because they saw it as them flexing their oil money with how much electricity they were using. That's when Ernest threatens Bill for beating him at his own game, and that's what leads to them blowing up their house, killing Bill and Mollie's sister Rita. And what's crazy is that in the movie and in the book, they mention how Mollie and her kids were literally just over there before that happened.
When they come in, you get them.
This also leads to Mollie's cry in the basement that is just gutting and is one of the standout scenes of the movie. And it's also when the movie's look changes since they've had all the Osage shots shot on film. The settlers are meant to look like old photographs. But after this explosion, you can see the whole movie get darker and desaturated. Even though Mollie starts getting sick because of her diabetes, she ends up making the trek up to DC where they pay $20,000 to the government just to listen to their story.
Please send help. There's murder in Osage, and the police do nothing.
This causes Hale to get even more worried.
Police do nothing. Glad we don't have that problem today. Anywhere.
And since he has the doctors in his pockets, he gets them to alter Mollie's insulin shots by adding poison to every injection. But since Mollie doesn't trust them, Ernest ends up being the one doing it, making this relationship sicker than Phantom Thread.
I love this girl. Do you?
Now, Hale knew that Ernest's soft spot was Mollie. So earlier when her sister Minnie died, Hale really pushed that idea of Bill failing to take care of her and not giving her the right medications, making Ernest feel like he needs to do everything he can to not feel like Bill did.
Shows itself to you that Bill Smith didn't take the proper care of Minnie the way he could have. To have her sick and die, take her hen rights and her land.
And I know that this is probably the most questioned part of the story, and I've seen people really divided by it, and the book doesn't reveal whether he knew or not, but it isn't until Ernest starts downing his uncle that he tries half of that vial himself and ends up getting sicker than a dog, which to me shows he didn't know. But yes, in the age of the internet, this man should have burned in hell. On a rewatch, you realize how sick they really are, though, because there's an...
Yeah, I think that we can all agree that Ernest was a real piece of shit in this movie. That's one of the gripes of the Osage Nation, or some of the people in the Osage Nation, about this movie and how the story was told, is that they think that they made Ernest too sympathetic a character in this. I mean, they don't sugarcoat, just what an idiot he was and what, how evil he was. They tried to make it, make him seem like he did love Mollie, and I think he did. It's just, if any of them are saying that they tried to make Ernest look like Captain America in this, well, there's dead wrong. Okay, he definitely, they show him as like this real shady character, and on top of that, a real, stupid, idiotic, moronic, shady character in this. So yeah, Ernest did not get any breaks in this movie.
An early scene where Hale jokes about killing the Indians in front of the doctors when they're looking at Henry, and the doctor doesn't turn around because he's offended in hearing that. No, he turns around because he's shocked he's saying the plan out loud.
You gonna kill this Indian?
How'd you know?
The movie also shows real footage from the Tulsa Massacre that they're making a comparison to, since that happened a few hours away from them, since they're both in Oklahoma. So you do end up with whiplash when, casually the KKK is just marching in the town parade alongside the Osage. But what's worse is noticing that Mollie's guardian who controlled her money was also the guy leading the Klan. Even worse, this same dude is later on in the court, on the jury.
They're very hungry for power. They ain't gonna get it.
What's crazy is that Hale didn't even like the Klan because they were too conservative for him. Like, he's pretty much the racist liberal. This man was learning their language.
But he repeats himself.
Language just to screw them over. He would boast about bringing them into the 20th century like they owed him something, not realizing that all the fancy medicines he was touting, they were only needed because they also brought in the diseases.
They were sick people. They were kindly people, big-hearted people, but they're sickly.
A lot of the fraud they did was also not even illegal. Like, it was part of the law. This was a town of 5,000 people, yet they had 75 attorneys. They would consider it federal land one day and Indian land the other day whenever they needed it to be. And they really had these rich Osage people calling themselves incompetent because they ended up running all the banks for them, and all the Osage had to ask for their own money. Like, can you imagine inviting someone to your land and they end up controlling all of your essentials?
Real quick, I want to mention, hey, we got my man, I'm Sean Cav. He just gave me a $2 Rumble rant there in the Rumble live chat. I definitely appreciate that. And he comments that Ernest goes to jail. And yes, that is most definitely the case in this movie, as he should have. Now, we do find out that later on he got out of jail a lot earlier than a lot of people that know this story would have preferred him to get out of jail. Matter of fact, he got out of jail and then he ended up living out the rest of his life, living in a trailer park with his brother. So I don't know. They were just sitting in the trailer park, just watching WWE Monday Night Raw or whatever. Who knows? But thanks again for the $2 Rumble rant there, Sean.
And then slowly kick you out? That's insane.
Back in the old days, they would miss the Indian point of view in a movie by a mile.
Right.
Now they're missing it by feet.
Honestly, when you really look at it, they weren't just looking to kill them.
See what I mean? Martin Scorsese cannot win. That's why if I was a director, I would never, ever, ever make a movie about any kind of cause, about anybody involving a, what do they call them now? POC, person of color. Okay. Nope. You want your story told, you fucking tell it yourself. All right. Apparently, Whitey is not allowed to tell your story, even though their intentions may be honorable and good. You're not going to avoid getting any flack. So, like they say, no good deed goes unpunished. So, no thanks. I won't be your guy.
But to completely end the traditions. So, with all that Marvel talk, Scorsese was really coming out with this movie saying, Wakanda forever.
I was sent down from Washington, D.C. to see about these murders.
See what about them?
See who's doing it.
Jesse Plemons eventually arrives as the Texas Ranger in the 9th inning.
Some of you might recognize Jesse Plemons as the super psycho character from Breaking Bad. I can't remember his character's name in Breaking Bad, but yeah, he was just cold and detached and creepy. And I remember his character just shot that little kid when they're doing the train heist. Todd. Thanks, Sean. Todd, there you go. I knew my man would hook me up. But yeah, so Jesse Plemons, he just looks a lot different in this movie than he did in that. But yeah, good actor. And I think he's actually married to Kirsten Dunst from obviously Spider-Man and Interview with the Vampire. So good for you, Jesse.
And he's representing the FBI that barely is getting put together by J. Edgar Hoover, someone who Leo played in a movie before. And in the original story, it focused more on this character solving the case. And it kind of was playing it off like a detective thriller, but they rewrote the movie since they felt that the twist was going to be too obvious. Plus, if people found this version insensitive, imagine telling a story where it all leads up to a Scooby-Doo villain reveal at the end. So when people say that they want it to be more like the book, ask them if they read the book. Hale even makes fun of how long it took them to get there, since clearly it wasn't all about the Osage dying, but Belleau being detonated that got them there.
We were sitting down going through some of the court documents and the testimonies from this, and people were talking about the house blowing up. And in the documents from this and the court transcripts, they only talked about Bill Smith, the character played by Jason Isbell. There was no mention of Rita.
Hale starts to tie up all the loose ends by pulling a looper. He sets up Blackie to get arrested again with a bank robbery. He sets up AC, who they hired to blow up the house, to rob a dance studio after letting the owner of the dance studio know to shoot him. And even his buddy Grammer gets killed. But we just see him crash in a car.
Pretty much like Robert De Niro did in Goodfellas when he was knocking off everyone in his crew after the Lufthansa heist. Okay, so I mean, who can forget seeing my man hanging from a meat hook in the back of a meat truck there, frozen to the bone. Okay, so we got Robert De Niro repeating Goodfellas history, but here in Killers of the Flower Moon.
After someone was chasing him, which is kind of my thing. If you're going to show all the violence on the Osage multiple times, don't hold back on the violence for the killers.
We have so many deaths we've lost count.
After several roadblocks, the FBI starts piecing things together as they have an undercover native getting some insights, who I'd see a whole movie of, and another guy who was previously an insurance agent, undercover as an insurance agent, who realizes all of the fraud that Hale is pulling, since he's recently burned down his own farm. If you pay close attention, you can see that at the beginning of the movie, this man has a whole bunch of cattle, but by the end, Hale only has a small corral, which is why he's pulling insurance fire fraud. And this agent is also probably the reason why Hale had issues cashing in on that insurance for Henry.
I'm gonna tell you who did it.
Plus, the only reason they got a lead was because this old guy told the truth only because he was about to die.
You gotta tell me what you told them. All of it, what you tell them. I told them all of it. All of it?
They end up arresting Ernest and interrogate him with Blackie as they keep him locked up for about 2 months. And because
Ernest goes to jail. Yep. That Blackie character in this was, just downright sleazy and just evil and not a good character. And but he was not just a criminal, but just the stupidest kind of criminal.
of that, there's a scene where the uncle goes to visit Mollie, which he questions if it's real or not. And I think he was there poisoning her since, Ernest has been gone. And it isn't until Hale gets arrested that the authorities finally are able to take Mollie to the hospital and she gets better.
Are you a married man?
Yes, sir.
If your wife died, who would get her money?
We then get a couple of late appearances from John Lithgow as a prosecutor who came in like CA in Oppenheimer. And 3 hours in, we then get the court scene where Ernest has to testify. And Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, John Lithgow, that was a surprise. It was one of those, you've seen in other movies too, like you were just mentioning in Oppenheimer, where, you just get like this very well-known actor like John Lithgow, and all of a sudden just, 3/4 of the movie, like, whoa, there's John Lithgow. And then here's Brendan Fraser in this. It's it was a nice surprise, but yeah, I was like, wow, this kind of makes this movie different than most movies, but it just also shows the prestige of Killers of the Flower Moon, like how Martin Scorsese is such a legendary actor that he can get pretty much every actor that he wants to be in his movies, because I mean everybody wants to be in a Martin Scorsese movie, so that no truer statement can be made.
Marty's direction and casting, all right? It's clearly done on purpose. He's supposed to be the big town lawyer who's from out of state, meaning that he has this goofy city boy way of speaking, just like Anna spoke differently than her sisters. I think he's supposed to come off over the top because that's exactly how all the people in the room see him.
These government men, they're giving you the rope to hang yourself.
So after holding Ernest for 2 months in order to testify,
yeah, this is some of Brendan Fraser's most outlandish, goofy acting since George of the Jungle. Okay, he's this guy's trying to, I guess, Fraser-splain why he acted the way he did in this movie, but I think it's just Brendan Fraser just trying way too hard. Like, he's a classic try-hard, and it just comes off as goofy in this, and it just it just conflicts with the rest of the movie. So I'm not buying what this guy is selling about, Brendan Fraser's over the top acting.
Hale's dream team is able to stop him by stepping in as lawyer and really having this man say,
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer that question on the grounds that it might tend to incriminate me.
If only we get to see Robert De Niro have to say that in real life. Hope.
Now, the wolf scene, in my opinion, is one of the most important, since Marty went on record saying that everyone was implicated. Like, there will be scary parts where they'll show scenes in the movie that seem to not go anywhere, but it's because those were real transcripts, real lines that people said who were never caught.
Including Bill Hale's wife telling the doctor to get furniture out of the house. What's that about? And by the way, this is based on actual things. They were told to get good stuff out of the house.
This scene shows how many people were in on it, including the big oil CEOs who all looked the other way. When Henry's getting set up, they show you oil workers who legit were staring at him for days, but also looked the other way. And I think it shows the worst part of how everyone was involved. They just stayed silent, because the bad guy isn't always going to be this mustache twirling.
Just in case you're just joining, if you've been watching for a little bit and you're like, why is this guy just playing this video here? So I'm just doing this because, as you may hear, my voice sounds a little different because I've got a really, really sore throat. But I definitely wanted to still do the show for you guys. Okay, I wasn't gonna call in sick, so I'm not quite sick enough to do that here, but my throat is sore as fuck anyway, so I'm trying to preserve the old voice, and that's why I keep talking right now. I know that makes no sense whatsoever, but anyway, but one thing that I wanted to say about what he just said is talking about how the people just didn't bother to say anything, even though they knew evil was afoot right there, and that part kind of reminded me how a lot of the Germans they could live like right next to concentration camps, during World War II, and they wouldn't say a word, okay? Or not even Germans, I mean, because they really didn't have the death camps in Germany, okay? They had those primarily outside of Germany in World War II, but anybody, the supposed good guys lived near death camps in World War II. They knew what was going on, just wouldn't say anything. Kind of like in Killers of the Flower Moon, the people just wouldn't say anything, even though they knew some pretty heinous shit was going down.
Disney villain.
People say, well, that type of person, that sort. I guess what that means is that they try to distance themselves from them. It's someone else, it's not me. But in actuality, I feel it's not someone else, it's us. It's you and me, and maybe if we had been born under different circumstances, maybe we would have wound up doing exactly the same things.
That's why the title is so important. We already know who did it. The movie's breaking down how they did it and how people continue to get away with stuff like this. Several movies have covered this, but I think it's caused a lot of confusion because a lot of people don't realize that being the main character doesn't mean they're a good character.
Too literal, too violent, too metaphorical, too dark. Here, we have the protagonist, but where's the antagonist? Huh? Where's the drama?
Studios are now putting out disclaimers or warnings at the beginning of their movies because a lot of people seem to not get it. Like even recently, I've been noticing people figure out that a lot of Scorsese's movies were actually calling out the bad guys. They just put you so into their evil minds that people took it the wrong way.
I want you to understand, we don't do anything illegal.
And now they got this man doing explainers in his interviews.
As we know now, tragically, it's a norm. Every other person is like Travis Bickle now.
The sad truth is that it usually ends up being violence that gets people to tune in, and not the positive stories. It's like it's not an Oscar-worthy performance unless they're going through agony. It's crazy to see a lot of people who were complaining about this movie not being able to name another indigenous movie that came out this year. But if a movie has people complaining that the bad guys are too bad, or also the bad guys are too good,
it's the part where this guy is doing his white people atonement ceremony here as part of this right here. So, but yeah, it gets kind of old watching videos from dudes on YouTube and the ladies as well. So they kind of have to throw in their obligatory white guilt, drop to their knees and atone for sins they never committed. So
good. Usually that means it hits the mark at portraying the sad, the raw truth. Not something that leans the way that'll make people more comfortable.
Can you find the wolves in this picture?
Get it? The motion picture. They end up testifying in Anna's death, and it's just scary how chill they are retelling it. They even show a flashback to how Mollie damn near tucked Byron in after coming back home from killing her sister. And when they show this Kelsey guy, I damn near vomited. This man looks like if Walter Jr. broke bad and was running an illegal whiskey yacht that was poisoning people. He's the dude early on when Ernest meets Mollie, who boasts about having a full-blooded wife like a creeper. He dances at their wedding with his goofy line dancing when it should have been their traditional music playing. And then of course, he's the sicko who planned to adopt 2 Osage kids as long as he could then kill them and get their head rights. Legally.
It's real complicated. Sometimes you gotta do one thing even though you mean to do another thing. But I'm not in any kind of trouble at all. None at all.
After Ernest is forced to sign a paper so Hale can get his rights, and learning that his uncle even had a hit out on him, it's the death of his baby that makes him realize how his uncle has been using him. Like there's a slick edit when he meets Mollie where it cuts to the sisters' photographs and then punches in, and I took that as him already kind of knowing who they were since the uncle must have given him a photograph. Like even when the uncle realizes that they finally met, he gives the brother a side eye. Hale even gives Ernest a book about wolves in order to incept in his mind that dog mentality and the way he wants the order of things.
Through one lens, you see a very organic attraction forming, and through another lens that Mollie is pretty unaware of, you see a calculated arrangement happening.
And when Ernest is on the stand, he's asked if his uncle directed him into marrying his wife, and Leo's face is crazy. It's as if he realized right then and there that as much as he thought he loved her in his vile, disgusting way, he was also being duped the whole time by his uncle, as the book states. And you even see it in Mollie's face, who questions him right after about the shots, just for him to deny it like a coward.
Have you told all the truths?
In the end, the movie tells you that Ernest and his brother did end up going to jail, but were eventually let out pretty early, living out the rest of their days in a trailer park together. Hale ended up getting served with a lifetime sentence, but then also got out early, dying in a nursing home, with many Osage even forgiving him because, as Hale put it, people forget. They don't care.
I've heard there were some Osage that were at his funeral.
That's right.
Yeah.
Believed until the day he died.
Yeah.
And after that he was their friend, that he wasn't guilty of what he was charged of.
As for Mollie, they mentioned that she remarried and had grandchildren, eventually passing at age 51, where they buried her next to her sisters and her daughter.
And just one really striking detail I found in an archive about Mollie. In 1934, just 2 years before she died of natural causes, I found a document saying where she had appealed her incompetency and she was deemed competent. She was finally granted the rights of a full-fledged citizen to have access to her money and her resources.
All of this is told after a time jump where a radio show was retelling this case. They've got Jack White up there as the host. And reading up on it, it turns out that the FBI was the one funding these because they would use the files that they had on all these crimes and investigations and then sell tickets for the show that would make the FBI look pretty good. Obviously, it also sounds a lot like the true crime craze and live podcasts that turn all of the goriest stories into entertainment. And they even go at the awkward sponsors by having it be promoted by Lucky Strike and adding a line in the reading where Ernest asked for a lucky strike after getting out for the murders, sounding like,
"Shortly thereafter, Gerald Bobkins swung mercilessly at his wife's head with a golf club. She was never seen again." This episode is sponsored by Sports Zone. Upgrade your game with top-of-the-line golf.
The last person to come out and read is Scorsese, who made a tiny cameo earlier when Mollie goes to DC and they take a picture, but here it's fully breaking the fourth wall as all the music and sound effects stop, and it's clear that this is him being really meta on storytelling, especially with him being an outsider, and how he wants to use his reach to get the story out there in order to get people talking. I think he got people talking.
If it didn't upset people, there's something wrong with it.
I think it's more than Marty being a martyr, but saying that this isn't the only one project that's going to be out there on this story. There will and should be more. He's just speaking to his audience, hoping they listen.
He's exploiting the story, and he's just another non-Osage who's reaping the benefits of this story for his own purposes. And how do you respond to that?
Well, I hope not.
Those comments that the Osage should have wrote this book, there was plenty of opportunity for someone to write that book, but no one did. And so I can't imagine why they would say something,
The movie then ends with a shot of the surviving Osage people chanting in the fields where the flowers used to be, making up the colors as they dance around the drum set, fading to the credits where the audience then sits in the rain, reminiscing, just like Mollie said earlier in the movie.
Storm, it's powerful. So we need to be quiet for a while.
It's good for the crops, that's for sure.
Just be still.
All right. Yep. So I thought it was a pretty good video there to check out about Killers of the Flower Moon, and again, of course, just to save my voice here. But so hey, just to let you guys know, I just wanted to make sure you guys all know about the great website that we have all our content on, and that is on the tdpn.locals.com website here. Okay. And as you can see down there at the very bottom, if you put in promo code TDPN, you're going to get 1 month free membership to the tdpn.locals.com website. And yeah, we've got blogs, we've got articles, we've got videos, we've got movies, Merica, Mad Libs on the show or on this website there. So yeah, definitely want to check that out. And the movies, Merica, Mad Libs, I'll go into that a little bit more later on. But yeah, that's Ian and Sean. We've got all our great content on there. So, and again, you know what, you're going to you're going to see things in a way on that website that you won't see anywhere else. Okay. So, but definitely check that out. And all right, let's move on here with the show. Okay, and good. Let's get more into Killers of the Flower moon right here. So got some great actors in this. Obviously we got Leonardo DiCaprio, we got Robert De Niro, and you saw John Lithgow in there. Lily Gladstone is another actor in this that I think she's, like I said before, I think she's going to see Oscar gold in this. Okay. But yeah, it's just it's not a good thing here. So, and I'm finding out here that actually the video is actually frozen up here on the live stream. So hopefully that that's okay. That's not good right there. We got to get that handled there, because I want to make sure that you actually have something to watch on the live stream here. So all right, let me talk to my man here. All right, make sure we get this squared away, and not just hazards of the trade. You run into this sometimes when you're live streaming, and you're at the mercy of your internet connection or StreamYard. StreamYard's what we use for our live streaming. So, okay. Just getting some important details going on here, so we can make this show actually watchable here, because from what I'm hearing, you guys right now are just seeing a black screen. Okay. All right. And yeah, I wouldn't want to watch it either. If you're watching this right here, you're like, yeah, okay, what? Somebody told me to watch this Movies America spoiler warning show, and all there is black screen. What the hell? Okay. Can still hear this yokel talking, maybe. Jeez. All right, so probably just have to reboot. So, but we're gonna trudge forward here and see if we can make this hair show work. Okay, everybody. Okay. But yeah, gonna get in here, and all right, there's my man here to maybe help me out.
What's up, dude?
What's going on? Hey, all right.
I can't see you.
You can't see. It sounds like it's just a black screen, huh? Or it looks like it's just a black screen.
Yeah. Well, now it kind of popped up. So
okay.
You want to reboot. I don't know where you were in your show.
Yeah, I was just going over some points about Killers of the Flower Moon, but if you haven't seen it, obviously, yeah, just talk whatever comes to your mind. Like Robert De Niro's in it, Leonardo DiCaprio, whatever. I mean, if that gives you any some ideas, but I will try to reboot here as fast as possible. So people, you are in good hands.
It was and it's that crazy cop from the Dexter whatever, right?
Oh yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Which one was that?
I forget her name in the thing, but it's Lily Gladstone, right? That's her.
Oh yeah. Was she in Dexter?
She was in the reboot of Dexter, like that.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen the new one. I haven't seen the reboot.
You haven't seen the new part of Dexter? Okay.
I know.
Let me let you reboot, and then we can.
Yeah, we'll talk about that exactly. Sounds like we got our topic. All right, I'm good.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
All right. Thanks.
Hey guys. Oh, I forgot that he's leaving, and I have to talk to you guys. Yeah. So I don't know what is going on right now. I guess it looks like Movies has some Fetterman, or no, you know what? Fetterman is for Sean from Whiskey Capless. That's when his internet and his stuff goes out. It looks like it's it looks like it's some Beto O'Rourke internet, because he's a loser and he doesn't, it doesn't work. He never wins. So I would have to say this is some Beto O'Rourke. Yes, Unfolding Joker. It could be some camel towing internet. I would have to agree on that one. Okay. So hi guys, how you doing? I guess I'm the one that is hosting the Movies Merica right now. I don't know what's going on. As you can tell, I am not camera ready right now. I gotta, hey, is the show frozen? Yes, it is Mitch McConnell right now. Sorry, guys. But how you doing? Welcome to the show, I guess. This part of the show that is just me talking. I don't really know what to say. I don't know where he was. So that is interesting. Yeah, and it looks like black screen for a minute. Okay. Yeah. So Killers of the Flower Moon, I haven't seen it personally, so I don't really want to get it spoiled. So that's why I'm personally not watching. But I have a feeling if it's Martin Scorsese and if it's Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro and it's about Indians, I have a feeling it's going to be some woke nonsense. That's just my personal opinion. I don't know. But yeah. Yep, I'm just waiting. Just waiting. Do. Come on, movies. Where are you at? Where are you at? Because I don't know really. There we go. Hello?
Hello. Is that better?
Yes, a lot. So much better.
Oh, yes.
So much better.
Praise Allah. There you go. Exactly.
Just because I'm here, you don't need to. All right.
I'm saying that so you don't bomb my house.
Well, I mean, if I do come over to your house,
I'm not one of those infidel.
If I do come over to your house, I will blow up the bathroom. So that will happen. No, but okay. So
and I'll look down at it. I'll be like, Allah will not be pleased.
Yeah, exactly. Hello, snack bar. That's a good unfolding Joker. That's good. Well, I'm glad you got some people in here. I'm guessing because of your little video stuff, a couple people jumped out, and probably because they see this dude on, and they're like, "Who the fuck is this?"
No doubt.
I said that you were having Fetterman internet, but that's Sean. You have Beto O'Rourke internet.
Yes, exactly.
This is a loser.
Yeah. My internet decided to jump up like randomly and awkwardly up on a counter or something like that. So, or decided to skateboard badly.
Yeah, your internet decided to try and do a kickflip.
And went down. But yeah, no, I haven't seen the new Dexter, man. I haven't seen it.
Dude.
I don't have Showtime, but
it is amazing until the last 15 minutes.
Oh, God, is it like the original show where the ending just sucked ass?
Dude, it's like they kept saying, "Oh, it's a new Dexter. It's going to be so much better because I know you guys were disappointed with the ending of the last show." Which when I rewatched the last Dexter and I was like, it wasn't as bad as I remember it being originally. But then they were like, you're going to be so satisfied with this. And then when me and Jen watched it, we were like, what the fuck? Really? Like, you're going to do that again? Like, you should have just not made it.
Got us again.
Yeah, like, you should have just not wasted your fucking time. Like, you and our time. Like,
right.
Fuck you guys.
All right. Well, maybe I shouldn't watch it then.
I'm not mad about it at all. No, it is. Okay.
Not at all.
Yeah. It is good. Like I said, up until that the very last part, you're just like, really? Yeah. I don't know. But
right.
It was pretty cool.
I was just disappointed. I was disappointed in Michael C. Hall because I always like Michael C. Hall and Dexter, and I was always disappointed he couldn't parlay that into like movie success, right?
Yeah.
Okay, he was like in that lame gamer movie with Gerard Butler, and
that
I'm sure he
wasn't that bad.
God, that movie is so dull. Like, well, it was so like dull. I thought it was corny as fuck. So, but teach their own.
It's a movie about gaming. Like, yeah, it's gonna be a little bit cheesy.
Yeah, I think I had my hopes up way too high because, like, Gerard Butler, usually his movies you can't go wrong, but in that one,
I just rewatched.
But yeah,
I just rewatched Law Abiding Citizen. Dude,
dude,
that's such a good fucking movie. Like when that scene where she answers the phone. Where the judge answers the phone and it just takes her out of. But when I first saw, even when I rewatched it again, I've watched that so many times. I'm still like, what the fuck, dude? It still
makes you jump there. Yeah. And in the graveyard, they're in the cemetery. He's got like the minigun or whatever it is. So I mean,
it's so cool.
Yeah, Gerard Butler, man, you don't fuck with Gerard Butler's character in that movie. I mean, that's one of those movies I was conflicted because, like, okay, yeah, obviously this guy is. Are we supposed to think he's like evil and bad? Because I kind of see his
not at all.
See his kind of his point. Well,
no. At the end of the movie, I'm like, why does Jamie Foxx win? He should die too.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, you're supposed to root for him. I don't think they realize that most people are going to be rooting for Gerard Butler because Jamie Foxx he's so dull too. He's like so wooden in that movie. He's just like Gerard Butler needs a straight man character to go up against, and hey, any boring ass Jamie Foxx will do. So
yeah, and I mean, I know you're on YouTube too, but I'm just gonna say it. He was kind of a cunt in that movie. Like, sorry, YouTube, but I know Jamie Foxx is probably one of your favorites, but no, like he was a dick in that movie.
Right, exactly. Like, it's like, pretend it's like your own family there, Jamie Foxx, but yeah, he obviously you didn't. He's like, let's the bad guys get off, easy. So I was rooting for Gerard Butler and that, like,
the whole time. Like the only, the only thing where I was like, man, is when he like stabbed that, like his prison, his like cellmate.
Like, that was gnarly.
I was like, that guy didn't really. I mean, he probably did something heinous to deserve to be in prison. So, I mean, I guess you don't really need, no sympathy needed for that. But we don't know that. What if it was some Amber Heard situation and she falsely accused him and he was just in there and he's just like, well, I get some steak, dude. I don't know.
And she shit in my bed. She falsely accused me and she dropped a fucking turd in my bed. Ian style. What the hell?
Yeah, exactly. Like, what the fuck? No, but I mean, at the very like when he first goes in there and he like turns off the cameras and he's talking to Gerard Butler and he's like, oh yeah, like, I'm totally on your side. Like, well done. Like that guy should have died. Blah blah blah. And then he turns the camera on. I'm like, so why are you gonna fucking railroad him then?
Right. Exactly. Yeah, for your career or whatever. Yeah, it's like it's and it's the way he took out the rest of them in their cars, out in the parking lot. So I mean, he gave him the countdown, he gave him the time limit. So and they didn't listen to him.
He said, "Be here at 1:00," and they wanted to be dickheads about it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Exactly.
Yeah. I know you're talking about a completely different movie, but I figure while I'm on here, no, but it just it was just fucking ridiculous. And then I watched. I told you I watched, or maybe I told Sean, but I watched. It was like Last Seen Alive. Have you seen that one?
I haven't seen that one. No.
It's good. It has him and the chick who played Lady Sif in Thor, Jamie Alexander.
Oh, Jamie Alexander. Yep.
Yeah, it had her in it. And it also had Ethan Embry.
Oh shit! Okay, wow, yeah, from that
Can't Hardly Wait.
Yeah,
and then I forget who they had a black dude as the cop, and then they only had, it was like a pretty small, like, but it basically was kind of like, I forget that movie. It had like Kurt Russell and some other chick, and they were like kind of stranded on the side of the highway. It had like JT.
Breakdown. JT Walsh was in it. Yeah. Breakdown. Yeah.
It was kind of like that kind of thing. Like basically Gerard Butler and his wife, they were married for a while, and then she stepped out and cheated on him. Modern woman.
Right.
And then not only did she cheat on him, but then he decided not to kick her to the curb. And then she said she needed some time. So she wanted to go back with her parents and her family or whatever. So so they were like on their way, like driving to her like parents' house to like, he was going to drop her off and like let her have, whatever time and whatnot. Right. And then on the way there, they like stop at a gas station. She goes in to get something at the gas station, comes back out, and then and then she disappears.
Oh, okay.
But it's not like a Taken, like I have a certain set of skills or anything like that. Like but it's cool, like all the different characters that are involved and whatever. And of course, like the video feed or whatever, like there's like a semi truck that goes in front of where she was, and then she's just gone after it leaves. So it's pretty good. I mean, it's not amazing, but it's pretty good. I thought Gerard Butler was pretty good in it. But
yeah, what was the name of it again?
Last Seen Alive.
Last Seen Alive. Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of like that old movie from the 90s, The Vanishing, with Jeff Bridges and Sandra Bullock and
okay. I haven't seen that.
Kiefer Sutherland, where Jeff Bridges plays like this psycho kidnapper, and I think it's Sandra Bullock that he takes.
Yeah.
And then Kiefer Sutherland plays like who's trying to find her. So he basically plays a Gerard Butler character.
Okay.
So.
I like Kiefer Sutherland. He's good and shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, ever since way back in Stand By Me, So Lost Boys.
Just watched a Rabbit Hole with him in it. It's like a new TV show or whatever. It's like super conspiracy theorist. I don't know if you watched any of it.
Oh, yeah, isn't that where they're the thieves or something like that, or the fixers or something?
Yeah, they're like they're corporate espionage.
Okay,
that's their whole thing. But it's like, but his dad, we used to work for the CIA, and so he learned all this stuff from his dad or whatever. It's pretty gnarly. Like even Jen usually doesn't like stuff like that, but I was like, no, you have to watch this. And afterwards, she was like, yeah, that was good. I
got Charles Dance in it too, right? So
is
Charles
that
Dance? He's God, who did he? Tywin Lannister.
Yeah,
Lannister.
Okay, I was gonna say yeah, and he's real good at it. Like,
is it?
Yeah, it's pretty damn good. Yeah, dude, I've been watching so many random movies lately because Jen had like last week off, like had vacation, so we were just watching much shit. We watched pretty much all the Halloweens.
Oh shit! Right,
dude. Okay. I maybe watched a couple of them, but we watched besides Halloween 3 because that has nothing to do with Michael Myers.
With Michael Myers, yeah, exactly.
We were like, yeah, we could skip that one. It's so cheesy, but it's 1978, so.
Oh, sure, of course.
I understand.
Of course.
Like, there's so many scenes in that where I'm like, huh? Like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like how does Jamie Lee Curtis, like, so her whole thing was like that she like faked her death, like in Halloween H2O she comes back, she said she like faked her death, right? But so then she like faked her death in a car accident and then left her daughter.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
like what a bitch.
Yeah.
Like,
and then
her daughter, and then just had another son, Josh Hartnett.
Right. Yeah. There's just so many things that don't make sense in the sequels there, because then they have like what's the they have like he's suddenly Michael Myers explained like he's a redneck, or he's a child of a redneck, or he had some white trash upbringing or something like that.
That was in the Rob
Zombie one. Yeah.
Dude,
so it's like
that first Rob Zombie one was really good.
I like the way they told the story. Yeah, I was just like, it didn't match with anything else, but right.
Yeah, I mean it did and it didn't. Like it like that was supposed to be a reboot. Like that, like I watched like, and they were like, no, we're rebooting the whole thing because he was redoing the first one, really. Yeah. And I mean, if you think about it, there's like about 30 minutes of that movie that there's so much like, oh, he caught her, oh, she got away, oh, he caught her, oh, she got away.
Right. Yeah. Is that the one where like Busta Rhymes like kicks his ass or is kicking his ass or something?
That's the one that's right after H2O.
Okay, gotcha. It's been a while since I've seen them all.
Yeah, they go into the Myers house and they put cameras up there, and it's supposed to be, it's dangertainment. That's so good.
Dangertainment. It's like a David Hasselhoff show.
It's literally they set up these cameras to like, and they like in the old Myers house, but like Mike Myers finds out. It's like, I was so stoked at the end of H2O because the whole time I'm like, cut his head off. Like he's burnt. You've stabbed him. You've shot him in the fucking face. Like all these, just cut his head off. He can't come back.
Right.
And then she cut his head off, and then nope, that was the corner.
Yeah, exactly. At least that's the one thing they get right in Halloween Ends.
Yeah,
is they grind his ass up at the end. Okay,
haven't seen it yet.
Whoops. Hey, don't worry. You know he's gonna come back anyway, right? He's grind him up in a meat grinder, and then he's gonna like materialize like the T-1000 and come back.
Exactly. So, well, I found out that they are gonna reboot it again.
Oh, I'm sure they will. Yeah. Too much money, too much gold in them there Michael Myers hills, man. Yeah.
I mean, that's how it works too, because now everyone, I'm gonna, all on social media, there's so many Michael Myers memes and like dressing up as Michael Myers. So, we have to capitalize on it somehow.
Right, exactly. Yeah, the people are sending us a message, and the message is they want 47 more Halloween movies. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I guess, he's a staple in like that horror genre, that campy like horror genre. Like it's cool.
Yeah.
I do like some of the deaths. Like some of the deaths are really cool, and it's just like, how does a big kitchen knife hold up a body on a wall?
Right.
Like 5 times.
Yeah, but don't think about it. Just enjoy. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, you use this gag, and every time I'm like, no.
Right. Or how does the lady get like? She gets like a light bulb, or she gets a big like light, like almost incandescent lights, like shoved right in her throat.
Yeah.
And then she survives, to the next movie. Like, what the hell? Like, there's no way that would happen.
It's like, this is okay. Yeah, sure. And then I guess okay. So the only one that I was like absolutely no. Like obviously the first one, the second one, 3 we didn't watch, and then 4, 5, and 6. H2O, Resurrection, those are all good, bad. You know what I mean? Like, they're like bad, good. Whatever way you want to.
Trashy, good. Yeah.
Exactly. Like, obviously, this is just a campy horror movie. Like, I get it. Whatever, dude. The second Rob Zombie one was such shit. Like.
Yeah.
You remember his wife, or Rob Zombie's wife, who was like the mother, who was like Mike Myers' mom or whatever, came back as like the angel of death.
Yeah. I vaguely remember that. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen the Rob Zombie ones.
Yeah, and they were like trying to get, it was like her and then Mike Myers as a kid, but Mike Myers is alive, so why would his spirit be in? Okay, that makes sense. And then, so they're trying to get Laurie or Jamie Lee Curtis's the revamp of her character or whatever. They're trying
Laurie Strode.
to come over to the what? Huh?
Yeah. Just don't think. Just enjoy. Just let it flow over you.
It's like I get that you want to have your wife in everything. I get it. But she died. She's done. Like. It doesn't.
I think he even had her play Morticia in his Monsters movie, right?
Yeah, I think Jen said that everyone can't stand that movie. Like, it's so bad.
Oh, even the trailer. I mean, the trailer usually, like, even trailers for even bad movies are good, but even the trailer for that one looked like dog shit.
Yeah. But I mean, I honestly think that, what is her, Sherry Moon Zombie or whatever? I think that's her name.
Right, yeah.
She was. I thought she was good in that first Halloween. I'll give it to her, even though I don't like her. And she usually plays kind of the same character, but she kind of didn't. She played a pretty good role in that first one.
Yeah.
Leave it
exactly.
Yeah. Leave it.
Yeah. Even actors like that I don't like them in a lot of things. They usually have like a lot of times they'll have like one good role. Like Tom Arnold is a perfect example. Like in True Lies.
Yeah.
Tom Arnold was good, but in everything else he's in, I think he's a complete douche. But True Lies, good character. Good
no,
actor.
exactly. Like I think that's the one role that I think she played good in. She's just annoying as like the baby talking in the Devil's Rejects and all that.
Oh, right.
It's just annoying.
Right.
But I thought she was actually really good.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for Rob Zombie's romantic comedy, but I think I'm going to be waiting for a while for that one.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, he seemed like he had some good concepts. I watched some like behind the scenes and like some interviews with him about it and whatever. Because usually when I watch a movie or watch a series or something, I kind of get into it. I want to watch behind the scenes. I want to figure out how it was shot and kind of cool stuff like that. And so I was watching interviews with him, and those are Weinstein movies.
Yeah.
It's Dimension Films and all that. And he was like, he said that not Harvey, but Bob Weinstein, I guess, like
Bob,
his brother or something. I don't know.
Bob's his brother. Yep.
Whatever. And he would call him every day, all day, and like during the editing process was saying your editor is shit. You need to fire him.
Oh,
and so hired Bob Weinstein had him hire some new guy that he knew, and he was like, yeah, I'm not gonna fire my editor, like I'm gonna have him do it. So this guy literally just sat there and like ate chips the whole time but got paid for it. And then I guess the day that he like leading up to it coming out, he kept saying like, this is the worst movie I've ever seen. I hate every single like frame of this movie. And then
Sure.
it came out. He's like, no, this is horrible. I don't know why we spent so much money on it. And then 3 hours later, it was like, this is the best movie. I don't know why we didn't put it in more theaters.
Yeah. I think there's something wrong right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Weinsteins are like, famously like they're way too controlling. They're too big of control freaks. I mean, obviously we know that's not the worst trait about Harvey in particular. But they've been called up like theater owners.
Yeah.
And you can play my movie, aren't you? You can play my movie, aren't you? You can play my movie. Oh, what time are you going to play it? Oh, no, I don't like that time. You got to play it at this time. I mean, just really anal about their, well.
It's like, you got to play it at this time. You mean all day, different show times? Like, that's how movies work, right? Like,
right.
1 o'clock,
Wow.
midnight.
Yeah.
Whole time.
Legendary idea. Wow, I never thought of that. So yeah, I want to play it at 6 o'clock. Oh no, I don't care if you want me to play it at 7. It's playing at 6. It's my fucking theater, right? So yeah.
Exactly. Weird. It's like maybe the controlling part went into the,
right,
if you want this movie,
right.
my weird penis.
Exactly. Yep.
All right. Are you good to go? I'll end my part on lick the weird penis.
There you go. You're ending on a high note, maybe? I don't know. Yeah.
Bang.
Exactly. We have the Harvey Weinstein bang. Yes. I think we're still looking good. I think I don't think I'm frozen up anymore. I'm checking all the feeds and all that stuff. So excellent. All right, man. Hey. Yeah, appreciate you hopping in and saving my bacon right there. That internet connection, I'd say sometimes it's just it's up in the air. You never know. It's
tell it to not do kick flips, bro.
Yep, no doubt. All right, brother. All right, see ya. All right. Okay, so yeah, let's get into little brew review time. What do you say? Because I'm getting a little thirsty and I got a beer to talk to you guys all about here. But again, thanks. Thanks to Ian for hopping on in and helping me out there because, sometimes the internet is a fickle biatch. Okay, so let's get into, though, brew review time. All righty there, boys and girls. I don't know what that fuzz is coming from, that foam is coming from, but okay. I didn't shake the bottle, but you got some head coming off the bottle here. But this is a little, I guess we're gonna call it Petrus. We're gonna go with Petrus for the pronunciation. A little Petrus aged pale. Okay, so and this comes to us from our friends in Belgium. Yes, they don't just make waffles; they make some aged pale Petrus. Okay. And this is what they call a wild ale. I just call it a sour ale or liquid pickle because on a sour scale, it's a 5 out of 5. Okay, so this is pretty much liquid pickle, and this is not a beer I would recommend at all. Okay, and now maybe some people you might love a very very sour beer. I'm not a fan. Okay, but apparently I didn't read the bottle close enough. Okay. Out there, I know that Sour Lady is another, a preferred sour beer that the sour beer crowd loves. They love their Sour Lady. Okay, and this is the Petrus aged pale from Belgium. So as much as I'm shitting all of this beer right now, because my throat is getting really really sore, I'm going to take a drink. Okay, I need to cool these flames down. All right, here we go. All right. Yep. That's beer. As you can tell from the expression on my face, like I said, it's pure liquid pickle. But this beer is probably not one that you're going to be able to get like at your local grocery store or anything like that. You might have like a Total Wine and More store going on, in your area if you live in like a bigger metropolitan area like I do. But if you're living at one stoplight town, you can probably go like gopuff.com or drizzly.com and grab yourself some Petrus aged ale there from Belgium. But, just because I don't like it, hey, it doesn't mean that, you won't love it. Okay. But I'm not a fan of the sours. And apparently I went to the Total Wine and More with like maybe one contact in. I probably just woke up. I was like wiping the sleepy seeds on my eyes. Like, oh, just looking up at the beer up there. Oh, just grab this bottle right here. What's the worst that could happen? It's not like it's a sour beer or anything. Put it in my cart. There you go. And here we go. Here we go. Tonight. Fast forward tonight. Oh my God, it's a sour beer. All right. Sketchy Jesus right there, my man. He's live chatting in here. That was fun. Sorry to derail with Gerard Butler and Michael Myers. Oh, no, dude. That's the kind of derailing you're going to bring. I like it, man. I tell you, I could talk about Gerard Butler and Michael Myers movies all day long. Okay, so all right. So that has been see, I'm distracting myself here now. So let's try to finish gracefully our brew review time. All righty. You know what? If you're gonna drink some brews like some Petrus, a pale ale or whatever, or age pale, and you think you might be drinking way too many of them, well, you might just want to try this product here that I'm going to tell you about. Okay, and again, like I said earlier, gonna have to try to wrap it up here a little earlier again because my sore throat. I know you guys are sick of me bringing that up. So, but anyway, all right. But for some viewers that may have just joined here, they may be wondering like, hey, why is this guy speeding through everything? Okay, so anyway, so let me tell you all about this great product. Yeah, we got ourselves some Nature Clear. Nature Clear is a great product you can take in order to avoid a hangover. Yes, do you like some beers? Do you like some Cosmos? Do you like some tequila? Do you like some boozy root beer? Whatever you drink that might give you a hangover. Well, hey, you know what? We've got Nature Clear for you, and it comes in these handy packets. I want to make sure I'm not holding that upside down. Yeah, handy packets right here. Nature Clear. Okay. And you just put that packet in like 12 ounces of water or just your typical bottle of water and shake that thing up and down it and then go out there and have a good time. You don't have to worry about a hangover, okay? But hey, have no worries. Fear not. If you forget to take it before you go out, hey, just take that sucker when you get home, okay? So ease up on yourself and take it when you get home. All right. So, yeah, as you can see right down below, if you put in promo code MOVIES, you're going to get up to 25% off your next order. So all you got to do is click on the Nature Clear. I can't even think today. Nature Clear link down in the description. Okay, click on there, and that'll give you the opportunity to buy all kinds of Nature Clear products. Put in the promo code MOVIES, and you're going to get up to 25% off your next order. All right, don't think, just do it. All righty. See, do what I do 25 hours a day, 8 days a week. Don't think. Okay, what should we do next? Ooh, goody. Hey, I think it's time for my personal favorite segment of every Movies America spoiler warning episode, okay? And that is the movie military moments. And just in case we have some new viewers watching right now live or watching later on, the movie military moment is just where I take a few minutes to honor a Congressional Medal of Honor winner, okay? And as you would imagine, whatever they had to do in order to become the recipients of a Congressional Medal of Honor, it must be some pretty gnarly, like eye-popping stuff to see if you were to see it up on the big movie screen. All right, a big movie military moment. Okay, and so yeah, I'm just going to take a few minutes here to show a little appreciation here, and our lucky person for tonight here, once I get my ducks in a row, is one Captain William Peterkin Upshur. Yes, and he is going to be the subject of our movie military moment as I let out a beer burp because that's a classy kind of guy I am. All right. So, hey, every honoree in the movie military moment deserves some good movie military moment music. So, here we go. This is the movie Military Moment. And this movie Military Moment honors one Captain William Peterkin Upshur. And he earned his Medal of Honor with his actions during the Haitian campaign of 1915. And you most likely have never heard of the Haitian campaign of 1915, okay? Most of the Medal of Honor winners that I honor on here are like World War I, they're from World War II, Vietnam, right? But Captain Upshur fought during the Haitian campaign in 1915. And the history of that is, so as you may have heard in history, sometimes in the United States we will put in place presidents, leaders of countries, and sometimes the people of those countries don't like who the United States puts in power as their president or their leaders. And so we sent our U.S. Marines down to Haiti back in the early 20th century to bring everything into order. And we had some Haitians called the Caicos. They weren't on board with that. So that's the backstory behind the situation, the campaign, the military situation that Captain Upshur won his Medal of Honor, or earned his Medal of Honor medal in. Okay, so all right, let's learn a little bit more about what Captain Upshur did to become a Congressional Medal of Honor recipient. Okay, let's get right into it. In company with members of the 15th Company of Marines, all mounted, Captain Upshur left Fort Liberty, Haiti, for a 6-day reconnaissance. After dark on the evening of 24 October 1915, while crossing the river in a deep ravine, the detachment was suddenly fired upon 3 sides by about 400 Caicos, concealed in bushes about 100 yards from the fort. The Marine detachment fought its way forward to a good position, which it maintained during the night. Although subjected to a continuous fire from the Caicos, at daybreak, Captain Upshur, in command of one of the 3 squads, which advanced in 3 different directions, led his men forward, surprising and scattering the Caicos and aiding in the capture of Fort Dipati. And I'm sure I am mispronouncing the name of that fort. But that is what Captain William Peterkin Upshur, did to become the recipient of one Congressional Medal of Honor. Okay, he earned that, and that has been our movie Military Moments. All right, so I salute you, Captain William Peterkin Upshur. And hey, if you happen to know the family of Captain Upshur, hey, let them know about this. I'd love to have them see this and see their loved one honored. Okay, now this is not a show or a venue of prestige necessarily, but hey, I think they would still be, gigged to see someone honoring their loved one. Okay, but again, yeah, that's my favorite part of every Movies America spoiler warning episode, the movie Military Moment. Okay, and let's check out the live chat, see if we got anything I'm missing there. We got Unfolding Joker giving Ian his due, saying sketchy, coming in the clutch. Yes, exactly. He delivered. Okay, so I was in the dark and I needed a light, and there was, okay, that sounded really overly dramatic. Okay. I tell you, I should write movies or something. I said, yeah, but those movies would definitely go.
She's gone from suck to blow.
Exactly. Okay, so, but all right, hey, you know what? My throat's going from suck to blow, so let me grab a little tug off this right here real quick. Excuse me. All right. Ooh, cool those flames. All right. It's like, Tom Cruise as Maverick in Top Gun, after he gets shot down by Kelly McGillis and tells the bartender, man, I'm going to need a beer to cool these flames down. Whoa. All right. So, hey, before I forget to tell you, hey, next week, I'm going to be reviewing a movie that I have heard a lot of fans comment that they would love to hear me. Well, I guess hear me and watch me review, and that is going to be Dredd. Yes, the Carl Urban flavor of Dredd, not the shitty Stallone Judge Dredd. Okay, I'm going to be reviewing Dredd. Okay, and I don't dread reviewing Dredd. Okay, so it's going to be It's going to be a great review. So I feel kind of funny saying the spoiler-free review of Dredd will be coming out on Sunday, but it will be spoiler-free because there's probably a lot of people that haven't seen Dredd. Okay, I know there's a lot of people that didn't see it in the theaters because me and like 3 other people saw it in the theaters. Okay, but and then next Thursday's Movies America spoiler warning will be all about Dredd, and we are going. I don't know. What do I got? Multiple personalities. I will be spoiling you, Rodden, all about Dredd. Okay, so that's your forewarning there if you haven't seen Dredd yet. Okay. All right. So you know what? I'm going to show you the Movies America Mad Libs that I was talking about here a little earlier, because I was talking about how Movies America Mad Libs is a feature on the tdpn.locals.com website. Okay. And I am going to share my screen because I want to show you what I'm talking about here, okay? Because you're probably like, what are you talking about there, man? I have no idea what you were talking about, okay? Like, come on. Get your shit right, okay? All right, so here we go. At stage. There we go. See, I know how to press buttons. All right, so as you see here, we got Movies America Mad Libs, okay? And just to give you the quick rundown about Movies America Mad Libs, basically, it's your opportunity to get creative, okay? So it's basically a movie script is what it is, okay? But it's one scene of a movie script, okay? And this is scene 2. And I invite you to get into tdpn.locals.com and just read over how this works, okay? But the to make a long story short here, so I've written the first few lines of this script, and you've got 3 characters in this script, okay? Because obviously it's a script; you have to have movie characters, right? And so I've written the first few lines here. Again, here's the characters. You can read over the characters so you know what you're dealing with. And then I've written the first few lines, and then you can write the next lines of this script, okay? And me and Ian and Sean, the other 2 parts of the Till Death Podcast Network empire, we are going to have to read live whatever you write in here in this website or whatever over there, wherever it's at, okay? And so you can go nuts, go crazy, get as imaginative as you want, okay? And then you can watch us read what you write here live on this show coming up here sooner rather than later. And you can laugh your ass off because you're going to have 3 grown men having to read off live whatever you write, okay? But in order to do that, you have to get it over to tdpn.locals.com, okay? And find the Movies America Mad Libs. Scene 2, it's pinned to the very top, so it's easy to find, okay? And then, once you're ready to write your lines after you read all over this, okay? And this top paragraph, you don't really have to read that anymore because I just describe, basically it just goes over what I just described for you. But you're going to want to read over the characters, okay? And then up here, just shows you like where the scene takes place, okay? Outside Mar-a-Lago, okay? Read over the characters, what they're all about. Read my first few lines. And then the final line that I've written is Patsy saying, "This is so exciting. It's not every day you might get to meet." And then the first line that you write who they're meeting there at Mar-a-Lago, okay? And then once you're ready to write your lines, just come down here to the comment icon right here. Click on that. And it's going to bring you to this screen right here. And then, you just got to type in your lines right down here. So you just write in, Patsy meeting Donald Trump. Okay, so then you write the next line. Holster is the other, and one of the other characters. You write the line for them. Okay, so just write your lines. You get the idea. Okay, but make sure you write 1 line per character, please. Okay, all right. So because these are 3 characters talking to each other. Okay, that's how that works. All right. Okay, so that's Movies America Mad Libs right there, and get in there, okay? I'm not getting enough participation that I really want to see in there, okay? So don't be afraid, okay? Don't be shy, okay? And you know what? Hey, if you want to put in there that you don't want us to say your name, whoever wrote that, whoever wrote your lines, or if you don't want us to basically mention you, okay, when we go to read your lines, okay. no problem. We just won't even say who wrote the lines and whatnot. So, but we'll know to give you credit because whatever you write, I'm sure it'll be great. Okay, so, but yeah, that's been Movies America Mad Libs right there, and just wanted to go over that a little bit. Okay, I'll let you guys know what that is all about. I hope to see you guys in there. I'd like to see some of the the people from Darth Jason's Dark Side Radio. Love to see those guys. Folks from the We Are the Show from Rumble. Some of these other great shows. I want to see the Reapers on here. I want to see the Salty Army. I want to see them show up in here. Okay, because I know my people from the Inner Circle of Salt on Gab, and you guys should get on Gab. Okay. And check out the group Inner Circle of Salt on there. You're going to meet some really good people on gab.com. Okay. It's so get on there. I hope some folks from that group will get into tdpn.locals.com and contribute to the Movies America. Again, it's your opportunity to get as weird and wacky and crazy as you want. Okay. All right. So you get to write some lines, and you know what? We have to read them off. It's hilarious. Hilarious. Okay. All right, so let's kind of wrap this show up here, okay? So, and the way that we're gonna do that is I'm just gonna tell you about some great spots you can go to, okay? Some things you should definitely check out. And the first place I'm gonna recommend you go to if you want to just listen to the audio-only versions of my spoiler-free Movies America reviews is www.moviesmerica.com. Yes. And again, like I said, that's just the audio-only versions of those reviews. Or also I do a podcast version of each of my spoiler-free reviews, and you can find that on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, anywhere you would imagine it has podcasts. So you're going to find it there, okay? And then also I'm on X, or used to be Twitter, right? And Instagram, okay? And then on Gab as well. I just mentioned Gab. And so on all those platforms, I'm at Movies America, okay? So definitely, follow me on X and Instagram if you aren't already. And then also on Gab, follow me there. And you know what? Hey, I'll follow you back, okay? All right? So yeah, just, when you follow me, hey, just message me on there and said, hey, I'm following you because you told me to on the episode. And I'm like, I'm following them back. That's a winner. That's a winner. Okay. So I'll follow you back. All right. And then tdpn.locals.com. I just told you all about that. Our website. Definitely check that out. And then, of course, like any great empire, like the Till Death Podcast Network is, you need to have merch. Yes. And of course, where do you sell your merch? In a merch store. Okay. And that's right down below in the description. Click the merch store description down below and get yourself some fantastic Movies America merch, okay? And merch for other Till Death Podcast Network shows. All right, yes. And then the next is at Till Death Network, solo.to/Till Death Pod Network, okay? And that's just one location, okay? If you want to just go to one location to find all the links that have to do with the Till Death Podcast Network, go right there, okay? Because who wants to hunt and peck all over the place for all the links to all the shows that have to do with Till Death Podcast Network? I wouldn't want to do that. So go to that location down below, okay, to get all those links. Then we're moving on to solo.to/Till Death Studios, and that's if you want to get into the content creation game like I'm in, and others that are on the Till Death Podcast Network, like Ian and Sean and others in the live chat. If you want to get into the content creation game, like creating a show like this one right here that you're checking out right here. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what to do with my hands. Okay. If you want to get into the content creation game and you want to, provide or get a little flair for your show. Okay. A little spark, a little sizzle. Okay. Like, up above, we got the overlay there, got the cool Movies America background and the intros that you saw earlier. If you want any of that for your content, go to solo.to/Till Death Studios, and my man Ian will hook you up with his elite skills. Okay, all right. He's like Liam Neeson in Taken. All right, he's got a specific set of skills, a certain set of skills that he can put to work for you. Okay, so get there. All right. And then we got solo.to/I'm Sean Cav. And that's where you can see all the links that are regarding Sean here on the Till Death Podcast Network, all of his great content. So yeah, check that out. Solo.to/I'm Sean Cav. And moving right along, solo.to/The Whiskey Capitalist. That's where all the links are at for the great show, the Whiskey Capitalist Podcast. That if you're smart, all right, and if you're aware, you already watch that show on Monday and Wednesday nights, okay? And, if you're just learning about it now, hey, don't make the mistake of not watching that, okay? Go and check out the Whiskey Capitalist Podcast on Monday and Wednesday nights, okay? And that comes on at 7 my time, so I guess it'd be, 8 Eastern, okay? So solo.to/The Whiskey Capitalist. That's where you can see all the links that have to do with that very show, okay? And then solo.to/Till Death Podcast. Yeah, that's the one-stop shop for links that have to do with the Till Death Podcast. Okay, the premiere show of the Till Death Podcast Network. Okay, and that's a show with Ian and his lovely wife Jen. Providing you great commentary about politics and hot button issues and that kind of thing, and funnies. And they do it from the fun and intriguing husband and wife perspective. Okay, so definitely check that out there. Okay, and again, I was mentioning earlier with Gab here, so definitely check that out here. I'll just share my screen here real quick after I get rid of that. All right. And I want to show you this here because you're probably like, Gab, I don't believe you there, Van. I don't think there is such a thing as Gab. And I'm like, liar. All right, I'm going to prove it to you. So, yeah, this is Gab right here. And just wanted to show you the Inner Circle of Salt screen or group there on Gab. So definitely check out the Inner Circle of Salt right there. And then also check me out on Gab, okay? So I'm here on Gab, and you can check out my page right there. So I just joined not that long ago, okay? So because I heard so much about Gab, and yeah, you definitely want to check that out. And again, as you can tell, it's a good place to go to get links to this show right there. But yeah, Gab is where it's at, everybody. That's where it's at. That's it's like like Facebook, like 15, 20 years ago. That was like the cool place because it was, college students only. And like, oh man, I've heard about this Facebook. It's very cool. Well, Facebook is now for your grandma to share meatloaf recipes. The coolness factor is completely gone. Gab is what Facebook was 15, 20 years ago. Okay, so get on there, everybody. Okay. So, hey, before I completely die from my sore throat right here, and I know you guys are sick of me whining about it. I would be too. I just want to remind you guys, as always, to get out there, people. Those movies aren't going to watch themselves. Thanks for joining. See ya.
Hey, everybody! Hey! I got the police after me. They're coming after me, okay? But I got just enough time to ask you. Just like this video, if you would, and then subscribe to this channel, okay? I'm gonna be in handcuffs pretty soon. I gotta tell you. And so before they haul me off, make sure you watch these videos over here, okay? And thanks for watching this video and the Till Death Podcast Network, okay? I gotta go.